I want you to picture this, a massive stage, bright lights, hundreds of people packed into an auditorium. The kind of place where you can feel the nervous energy bouncing off the walls. On this stage, it's quiet. You hear nothing but the sound of one kid's shoes tapping softly against the shiny wooden floor as he walks up to the mic. His cane gently clicks with each step. This is not your typical spelling bee contestant. This is Ethan, a 12-year-old boy who has been blind since he was 3 years old. The whole room seems to hold its breath as he gets to the microphone. He doesn't look out at the crowd because he can't, but he doesn't need to. He's listening, focusing, almost like he has this sixth sense. The announcer leans forward and reads the word. It's long, complicated, one of those words you'd probably never use in a conversation, the kind of word designed to make even adults stumble. And here's Ethan, standing there, smiling slightly like he's been waiting for this moment his entire life. He begins to spell, slowly, carefully, but with a kind of confidence that silences the audience. Each letter is crisp, deliberate. His voice cuts through the still air of the auditorium. People watching at home can feel it to this exact moment. This exact word may decide the championship, and then he finishes. He says the last letter, lowers the microphone a little, and waits. A pause. The judges glance at each other, and when they give the signal correct, this explosion of sound fills the hall. Applause, cheers, people jumping to their feet. You see kids hugging each other, parents crying in the audience. And Ethan, he's smiling, wide, almost relieved. But inside, you can tell he knows he did it. He just became the national spelling bee champion. Here's why this moment hit so hard. Ethan had been underestimated his whole life. Teachers weren't sure what accommodations he'd need. Some of his classmates didn't think he'd even take part in things like competitions. And yet here he was, not only competing but standing out as the best. His journey to this stage wasn't easy. Imagine trying to study entire dictionaries without being able to see the words. Most kids can glance at flashcards, write lists, or highlight definitions. For him, every word had to be felt or heard. He used Braille books so thick they looked like stacked phone directories. He had text-to-speech software, but he said it often felt too robotic, so he'd ask his mom to sit with him every evening and read words out loud. He'd repeat them letter by letter over and over until it stuck in his mind. Hours of practice day after day, while other kids were outside playing basketball or on video games. Ethan was memorizing word origins, Latin roots, strange patterns in Greek spellings, French borrowings. He loved it not in the way some people love candy or movies, but in a deep way, like he wanted to understand why humans created words at all. And when he got nervous, which he did often, his mom reminded him, "You've been preparing for this longer than anyone else knows. Trust your memory, trust your work, fast forward to the finals." The last 3 rounds were brutal. Competitors dropped out one by one, and Ethan was still standing. There was a moment where he almost missed a word, hesitating on a vowel. The crowd gasped, but he stopped, tilted his head slightly, and asked the judge for the language of origin. Then he recalculated in his head, replaying every time he'd studied that family of words. He got it right, incredible. What made this victory different from every other year wasn't just that he won. It was how he did it and what he represented. Seeing a blind kid walk up there, handle the same pressure as everyone else, even outperforming kids who had been spelling for years, broke a lot of stereotypes. It wasn't about pity, no one felt sorry for him. It was admiration, respect, you could feel it. When they handed him the trophy, he carefully ran his fingers over the engraved words, tracing each letter like he was meeting an old friend. And then he lifted it above his head to more applause than I think anyone expected. Later that night, in interviews, reporters kept asking him how he managed to do it. They wanted to know his secret strategy. And he said something so simple that it stopped people in their tracks. "I just never thought of my blindness as something that could stop me." Words are for everyone. Think about that. In a world where people often feel shut out because of things they can't control, This kid just redefined what's possible. He showed us that determination, discipline, and heart can level any playing field, even when life gives you obstacles. It wasn't just a win for him, it was a reminder for everyone watching: kids, parents, teachers, anyone who has ever doubted themselves that the human mind is bigger than what we see on the surface. After the competition, stories poured in online. Other blind students saying they felt inspired to try spelling bees, to join debate clubs, to chase dreams they thought were closed off. Parents saying they showed their kids Ethan's final moment as proof that hard work pays off. Even some of his competitors congratulated him, saying they couldn't think of a more deserving champion, and honestly, they were right. Because sometimes the real victory isn't just the trophy. It's what the moment means to everyone else. Ethan's win became a story shared across the country, and even beyond. Clips of him spelling that final word went viral, teachers played it in classrooms. Reporters replayed it on TV, and still at the center of it all was just this 12-year-old kid who loved words so much that he refused to let anything stop him from mastering them. So the next time you think something's too hard, or that the odds aren't in your favor, remember Ethan walking up to that microphone. Remember that he didn't need eyesight to see the meaning in words or to spell them perfectly in front of the world. Sometimes the biggest victories happen when you least expect them, and sometimes they come from the people the world doubted most. That night in that auditorium, it wasn't just a spelling bee. It was proof that limits are often illusions, and Ethan showed us how to break them.